There are currently 130,000 U.S. veterans in the United States that are legally blind, and 1 million plus vets with low vision, and every single one is facing challenges every day. But we're here to help. This is Wisdom Tech Talk. Thanks for joining us with a live studio audience coming to you from the Wisdom for the Blind studios in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Our passion is to talk about new and old technology that may help blind or vision impaired people in their day-to-day life. Let's do it. This is Wisdom Tech Talk, and this is your host, Benjamin Keeley.
All right, perfect. Well, I appreciate you guys for hopping on. My name's Tyler. I'm with a company called Orcam. We make a assistive technology for individuals who will have low vision. The devices are mainly focused in text or reading, so things like menus, books, mail, things of that nature. But we also have the ability to recognize cash, barcodes, face recognitions on there, colors, and a couple other things that I want to talk about. Have you guys heard of Orcam before at all? Before I go into it?
I actually received one in March.
Okay. How's it going for you?
Well, I got it at the Blind Center at Hines, Illinois in Chicago.
Yep.
And when I was there, I got the Orcam and I also got COVID.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So I was restricted for 10 days. And so I didn't learn it as well as I should, but I've been working with it and I've learned a lot on it. So I'm getting better at it.
Okay. Jeffrey, have you heard of Orcam?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Do you have one too as well?
I do, but my glasses that that you hook it up to, they broke and everything. But now I have other devices that I use at this time.
Okay. If you want more glasses, a different pair of glasses for them, or new ones, at the end we can connect and I can just mail you a pair. But
Thank you.
of course. So I'm gonna put on the glasses version of our device. I'm just gonna run through the basics on how the device works. I have the device connected to a Bluetooth speaker, so hopefully it's loud enough for you guys to hear it as well. But for those that possibly may watch later on, the Orcam device, it's about the size of my actual finger. It weighs probably about 2 to 3 ounces, sits on a pair of glasses magnetically, and it's on there pretty sturdy. I go ahead and put the glasses on. I don't feel any additional weight on the glasses. It doesn't hurt my ears or nose. And now I'm good in order for reading, cash, barcodes, and faces. So, Richard, I'm gonna call on you again.
Yes.
Did they show you both the ways that we can read when you're in Chicago?
I don't know. I know how to read on them. I didn't know there was more than one way.
Yeah. So that's why we do this. So there's 2 different ways we can read. Which way are you familiar with?
Well, I'm able to press it and it starts reading whatever I focus on.
Yep. So that's going to be the main way that we can read. So just like Richard said, if I aim my nose towards the center of what I'm trying to read and I tap the side of the device, it'll take a picture.
Orcam access your world quickly and easily for people with low vision. Orcam provides the ability to seamlessly access visual information that surrounds you.
And then it starts reading. Were you guys able to hear that?
Yes, it was clear as could be.
Good. So when I tap the side of the device, it reads everything it sees from the top left to the bottom right, just like if I was reading a book traditionally. So because my brochure was 2 pages, it would have read the entire left side first and then automatically went to the right side. Now, there is another way that we can read. So this will be something new for you. If I aim my nose towards the center of that text again, and I make a number 1 with my finger, and I place that finger on the text, and then I remove it,
Mighty.
it'll start reading that way.
Quickly and easily. For people with low vision,
And to stop it,
Orcam provides the ability to see.
I can do 5 fingers out like a stop sign, and it stops it from reading. So not all the times do you need to keep bringing your hand up and down to read the text. You can utilize we call it a pointing gesture in order to read documents and things of that nature too.
Question.
Yes.
If I want to read with my finger, I've never done this before. Do I have to signal it in some way by tapping the side, or do I just
Nope.
hold it on the document?
So as long as the device is on, if you make that number 1 with your right hand or left hand, and I say number 1 because the fingernail needs to be facing the camera. So, and I put that in front of the text, where the text begins, it'll start reading. So the biggest difference is going to be if we tap, it's always going to start from the top and read everything it sees, okay? If we point to the text, it's going to start reading from where we pointed at. So let's say I'm looking at a menu. A menu is a good example. If I wanted to read a menu, right, and I tapped it, it's always going to start from appetizers. If you go out to a restaurant, do you always order appetizers, Richard?
When I go, I sometimes do, but that's good to know.
Okay. So if I don't want to listen to the appetizers, I could take my finger and point to a different section or a different part of the menu, and I can have it start reading from there.
Wow.
That way, if I want a steak, I can find the steaks on the menu without listening to every single line item. So that's going to be the difference between tapping the side of the device to read and using our finger to point. Any questions on reading? No? Okay. So cash and barcodes. The device recognizes all the US cash 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. So if I'm going to a cash register and they tell me it's $10 and I pull out a 20, I know I'm handing them a correct amount. I also know if I'm receiving the correct amount. To do this, all you would need to do, hold that dollar bill up, take a picture.
$1.
It'll tell you it's $1. Traditionally, as soon as you hold that dollar up, it'll automatically say it and you won't need to tap the side of the device. For demonstration purposes, I have it set to tapping. No matter how I hold the dollar bill, it's going to recognize it. So if I have it backwards and vertical, and I take another picture,
$1.
still going to tell me $1. And I always like to make sure I go over the cash because I spoke to a veteran here in Orlando who they had their granddaughter over, and the granddaughter was 6 or 7. They lost their first tooth. It's a special day. She put her tooth underneath. He went in there, took the tooth, put some money underneath her pillowcase. She woke up super excited. Granted, if you hand a 6 or 7-year-old $5, they're probably super excited. So he didn't think much of it at the time. turns out, after she was excited 2 hours later, still planning on what she can buy, he went back, realized instead of handing her a $10 bill, he handed her $100. Big difference. So she was talking about like how can she buy the next Barbie dream house, how she can knock the rest of her teeth out. Like she was trying to start a little business of knocking her own teeth out. So little things like that the device can help with that we don't always think of. And then barcodes, it works the same way. So I have a bag of chips here. They're Cool Ranch Doritos. If I have the barcode angled towards myself, all I'm going to do is aim my nose towards it. I'm going to tap.
Tortilla chips, Cool Ranch Doritos.
So now I know I'm holding a bag of tortilla chips, Cool Ranch Doritos. So let's say you're holding a bottle of Coke and a bottle of Dr. Pepper. They're going to feel the same. So sometimes there are some individuals who won't be able to tell the difference. They'll want a Coke, it'll be a 50-50 chance. They'll open a Dr. Pepper and they'll be like, ah, shucks, guess I'll drink this. If you slowly rotate that bottle, that barcode comes up, it'll tell you if it's Coke. It'll tell you if it's Dr. Pepper. It'll tell you if it's Heinz tomato ketchup or mustard, things like that as well. So in theory, with enough practice with our device, I have veterans and individuals who they go to Publix, they'll aim their head up at the aisle sign, take a picture, it'll tell them what's down that aisle. They'll pick up something on that aisle, either take a picture of the front or use the barcode, know if it's the right item or not, go to the cash register, pay in cash, leave. So they can navigate grocery stores and pick up everything they need on their own with the use of our device. And then, yeah, go ahead.
Question.
Mhm.
Does it indicate that you're reading a barcode?
So it doesn't specifically say now reading barcode or anything of the sort. But if you're holding a box or something like that and the barcode comes across the side of the device, it'll automatically pick up the barcode. So boxes and bottles, like bottles where the seam is, the barcode is going to be next to. Boxes are a challenge. They can put barcodes anywhere on a box. There's no hint or tip to it. But if you flip the box one way and it doesn't automatically speak to you, you flip it another way, now that barcode's visible, it'll automatically see the barcode and tell you what it is.
Bert has joined the meeting.
Hello, Bert.
Good.
Well, Bert, if you missed the first part of it, we talked about how the Orcam device reads, how it can do cash and barcodes. So going into like a restaurant and reading the menu, if you wanted to pay using cash, it'll tell you if you're holding out a $5 or $10. And then barcodes for identification stuff. I'm going to get into the facial recognition of the device now. So the device can hold up to 100 people. And to program someone in there, it's a relatively simple process. You would just have your nose angled towards the individual. You say, hey, Orcam, start face learning. It takes a couple pictures. It'll ask you to name the person. So I could say Jeffrey. And anytime Jeffrey would cross my line of sight, it would say Jeffrey. And I could do it for Richard. I could do it for Bert. And anytime you guys come across my line of sight, it'll say exactly who you are. So any kind of lunch buddies that you guys sit with, if it's a church organization or anything like that, neighbors, grandkids, you can program them in the device, have it tell you who is in front of you that way.
Question.
Yep.
If I'm sitting at a table
Mhm.
and 3 of those people I've identified with my barcode, and there's somebody that sits down that I don't know, will it tell me that there's a person here that's not on your memory?
So there's a setting for that. So there's 3 different settings to the face recognition. The first one is going to be fully automatic. So it'll announce people that even if it doesn't recognize them, it'll say a person is in front of you now. You have automatic, which it'll just announce the names that it recognizes. And then you have disabled where it won't say anything at all. So yes, it can identify when I won't identify the individuals, but it'll let you know that there's someone else that the device doesn't recognize. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And then this one, I think this one's like a cool little party trick. So I'm not wearing a watch at all, but if I close my hand and pretend to look at a watch,
The time is 7:22 p.m. Today is Wednesday, July 17th, 2024.
it'll tell me the time and the date that way.
That's great.
Not sure if they showed you that, Richard, when you're in Chicago, and at Heinz, but it can do that too.
That's nice. I'm
Yep.
learning something here.
That's why we do it, right?
Good.
Another thing it's going to do is it can help with colors, right? I'll be fully transparent and tell you that the way colors work is really dependent on the lighting at the time. If I have something that is white, but it's in a dark environment, it's going to look gray. Okay. So lighting is going to be a big one. But if that's something we wish to use, I have my phone here, and I'm just going to try to do it with the phone case. So I'm going to hold whatever color, whatever thing I want to try to identify, make it number 1 with my finger, place it on the item, and I'm just going to hold it there until it speaks to me. It said it, but it didn't come through my speaker. Dang it. So it said black gray area at the time. So if I want to know what kind of colored pants I have, I could put my finger on the pants, hold it there. It'll do its best to identify that color. That way, if we're knowing we're wearing matching socks, making sure we're not wearing some crazy colors at the time, those things it can help with. And there's one more feature that the device can do that I'm going to talk about. I can't show it on my actual device here at the hotel because I can't connect it to the actual internet here at the hotel. But it's called What's in Front of Me. So What's in Front of Me is a feature on the MyEye glasses for the updated devices, which all of them should be able to update to this that are out. That if the user is connected to their home internet, or if they are using the app on their phone, they could ask the device, what's in front of me? Doing so, the device will take a picture and then it can describe the environment. So like if I was able to do it right now, it would tell me I'm sitting at a desk with a laptop. I could then ask it questions like, is my phone on the desk? It'll say yes or no. Is my phone on the left or the right? It'll say left. Things like that, I'll be able to ask it. Is there anyone in the room? What's the expression of that individual? How many seats are available? All that stuff the device can tell me through the what's in front of me feature. So, any questions on the faces or what's in front of me, colors or anything like that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you have had to identify your phone previously for it to know if a phone was on your desk?
Nope. So because it uses the internet in that regard, it can pull information. So if I say a phone, it's gonna pull to know what a phone looks like before it answers that question. So if I said a wallet, it's gonna look for a general wallet based off what the internet says that the wallet looks like, and tell you yes or no. So it may not be able to differentiate like your phone from like a spouse's phone, but it'll still identify a phone is there.
Could I ask it if my Victor Reader was there?
Great question. I don't know. That's something I've never asked the device.
'Cause
And because it pulls from the internet, I can't say no without trying it. I've done it in my backyard with my dogs, and it has told me 2 dogs playing in the backyard with a fence around them. And I was able to ask, like, what's the sky look like? It's sunny, it told me. Like things like that, I have been able to get it to work with. But any questions when it comes to the glasses version of the device between reading, cache, barcodes, faces, colors, anything like that? If not, I'm going to move on to the other version of the device. Okay. Okay.
Mobile app connected.
Okay. So the device I'm going to show you guys is called the Read 5. So the Read 5 brings something entirely unique to our line of products and really to anything else out there. Richard, because you're responsive. So what's your favorite restaurant?
Well, there's one in Arlington Heights called Palm Court.
Okay. What do you get?
I get either fish or a lot of different stuff. Falafel, a lot of different foods.
Okay. So what I'm going to show you is, let's say I walked in that restaurant with my Orcam Read 5, okay? I would be able to take a picture of that menu and I would be able to ask if that dish is on there. I would just ask the device, do they have this dish? It would tell me yes or no. I would be able to ask it, cool, how much is that dish? What's on it? What does it include? And it would just answer those questions that I have right away. So if I'm in somewhere new and I want steaks, I could ask, what kind of steaks do they have? It'll just tell me. So the device itself is kind of like a Sharpie in size. It's black with yellow buttons. And if I wanted to read something using there's a circle button that's on the top here that if I press and hold it, a red light appears. Anything in this red light is what it's going to read. It's a box and trying to show it, but it's blurred out. But So if I just align my text with that box, I let go of the circle.
Orcam Mighty. Access your world quickly and easily for people with low vision. Orcam Mighty provides the ability to see.
It starts reading that way. So instead of wearing the device on my glasses, I can use it in a handheld form. But let's say I'm looking at a menu. Has anyone gone to Texas Roadhouse recently or still go to Texas Roadhouse?
We definitely still go there.
Okay. What's the last thing do you get a steak?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of steak?
I like a ribeye or a New York strip. So
Okay, good choice. So let's say that's what I was looking for in a menu, okay? I could take a picture of this menu with the read 5.
Hand-cut steaks. Each plate serving.
Do they have ribeye on the menu? So I just straight up asked it a question like I would with anyone else. Finding the info. Hopefully my internet works.
Orcam cannot show.
Let me make sure I'm connected. Yeah, again. Gonna try again.
Hand-cut steaks. Each plate.
Is ribeye on the menu?
The menu includes FT, worth ribeye, bone-in ribeye, and prime rib.
How much are the ribeyes? So I'm just asking it information that I would
The
want to
menu
know.
includes FT, worth ribeye, bone-in ribeye, and prime rib.
How much is a 10-ounce Fort Worth ribeye?
The menu lists the FT, worth ribeye at $17.99 for a 10-ounce serving.
Can I get that cooked medium rare?
I'm sorry, I am not.
So if I'm looking at a utility bill, okay? If there's only 3 things I care about when it comes to a utility bill. It's how much is due, when is it due, and who's it's from. So I could ask the device how much is due. It'll just tell me $191. It's due September 23rd. I could ask, how do I pay? It's going to tell me I can pay by either going to this website or by calling a phone number. So being able to get that direct information that someone is looking for makes all the difference. And it can save a lot of time as well. Any questions on that one and how that would work?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I walked into a restaurant, a fast food restaurant, and I looked up at the menu,
Yep.
it would tell me what was on there, and would it remember the next time I went into that restaurant, or do I have to signify where I'm at when I ask at the menu?
So you would have to retake that picture.
Okay,
So none of our devices store information. So as soon as we don't want it to do that way, because if you take a picture of something private, whether it's like a bank statement or a medical document or something of that sort, we want you to feel secure in doing so.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So you would still ask it, but if I went to like Panera and I took a picture of the big menu board that's above the cash register, I could read that, or I could ask it questions. Do they have this soup? Based off that. And it would get that kind of information as well. We have we have just the actual read itself, so not the read 5. The read 5 launches officially in a week or two. But on the basic read is just black on black. It does your traditional reading, and it can still also do cache and barcodes as well. All of our devices are Bluetooth compatible, so if you have phonic hearing aids, we can pair the device directly into the hearing aids, depending if they are the Audio Marvel brand. Or if you have any kind of other Bluetooth headphones, you could put the sound to come directly into your ear. But I just want to make sure that you guys don't have any questions on them. There's not a lot to really go over on the devices. They're really simple when it comes down to it. They do a lot, but the features themselves, it's either a vocal command that happens automatically, or we just tap or point in order to read. So I know, Richard, you said you have a device personally you got from Heinz. I know you said you've been working on it. Have you run into any difficulties with the device that you've known of that you want to talk about that we can try to resolve? Or how are
Well,
you doing with it?
I just have to use it a little bit more. I've had a lot on my plate lately, so I haven't had
Yeah.
a chance to use as much as I like, but I'm going to use it more, I promise you.
Okay, good. Do you
But
have the instructional sheets for the device?
I have them, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Uh, do they automatically update or do you have to update them?
So the way the updates for the device works is the device needs to be connected to the internet at home, which do you know if yours is? Did someone come out and do like a setup for you at home?
No, but I can have someone do that.
Okay. So once it's connected to the internet at home, you can either set up the internet by going to our website, orcam.com, or if you have the mobile app. And then if you go to plug the device into charge, it'll automatically look for updates at that point. So the biggest thing is just making sure it's connected to the internet. That way, when you do plug it in, it automatically looks. I think right now the My Eyes should be at version 9.21.8012. If you have that, you're good. Any other questions about the device or anything else that I can answer? No? Okay. Well, that's really, I mean, that's all I had for you guys. I wanted this to make sure it be more of an open-ended thing, but you really make sure you guys, if you had any questions or anything you wanted to see, I was able to demonstrate. If anyone runs into any questions or runs into any issues with the device, you could always reach out to the VA, but if you don't want to reach out to the VA, you can always reach out to myself as well. So I'm Tyler with Orcam. My phone number is 757-320-6826. Just either send me a text, give me a call. Like I said, Jeffrey, if you want another pair of glasses, I can mail you a pair. Just let me know.
I just want to say you made things really clear for me. Thank you.
Good. That's the main goal. I know you have a device. Just keep practicing. I tell everyone that back when I took math class in high school, I used to go in on a Monday. I had it at like 9 o'clock. I don't know who came up with that schedule. I did not appreciate math at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. But I would leave that class thinking I was a genius, like I was going to get scholarships from Harvard, and then I'd go eat lunch and I'd forget like 90% of what I just learned. So these little things about the device, it's not quadratic equations by any means, but like when we do finger gesture to read. It's a number 1, not a direct point. And then it starts reading from where we pointed at. If we do vocal commands, making sure it's hey Orcam, not just Orcam, those little things become a lot easier, and then so does everything else with the device. So just keep practicing. Cool. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. I will leave it at that. And again, if anyone has any further questions, just feel free to reach out.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Tyler.
Of course, you guys take care.
Everybody have a good night.
Bye.
You've been listening to Wisdom Tech Talk, coming to you from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with an in-studio audience at the Wisdom for the Blind Studios. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And if you know someone who's blind or vision impaired, tell them about the show. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hit the website at www.w4bv.org. And we'll see you next time on Wisdom Tech Talk.